All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How is everyone today? Welcome to the stream, and welcome to a fun and full week of upcoming gameplay streaming, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Wednesday, the 28th of July, 2021. As July is coming to a close, things are heating up here on the streams, both figuratively and literally. Figuratively because, man, we've got a lot of stuff going on. We've got the starting up of new games. Starting this very week, tonight, I'll be starting up a brand new game on the late stream. Again, the people have wanted to see me play because it is console exclusive to the Xbox Series X, and now I can actually play it because I have one, which is absolutely excellent. I can't wait to try out this game tonight. After over 4 months, we've got some games concluding this week, which I'll talk about in a moment. I think you guys know what games I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Some crazy stuff going on this week. Plus, once we do finish up some of these ongoing playthroughs, that means more time with the Series X. That means a marathon of fun with the Series X on Game Pass. And then setting up established playthroughs that'll be ongoing things here on my streams for the month of August. Because the month of August is going to be very exciting. Not only will I be continuing on with great playthroughs such as Fallout New Vegas and Skyward Sword HD, which you guys have been enjoying, but also we've got new stuff from Game Pass that's going to really make the streams interesting. Some games that maybe normally I wouldn't have checked out if they weren't available on Game Pass, but now I will be checking out because they are. Okay? Pretty cool. And I hope you guys are excited for that. I certainly am. I mean, I'd say the second half of August is going to be incredibly busy with the amount of games I'll be checking out. Not to say that I'll be playing them all fully and 100%, from start to finish, but at the very same time, being able to check out so many new games in a short period of time without having to drop a significant amount of investment is actually a very good thing, okay? So I'm excited for this. I hope you guys are too. First of all, I'd like to say welcome back to everyone after me being off from streaming yesterday. I hope that whatever you guys did was fun and relaxing and safe. I had a interesting day. I spent half the day out with my wife. We were running all around doing things quickly in a short period of time, including grocery shopping, buying some pet supplies, as well as we having to go to 1 or 2 stores for my wife to pick some stuff up, not only for her job, but also for some stuff around the house as well that she said that we'd run out of. She'd prefer to buy stuff for herself, in person than telling me what to get, and then I buy all the wrong shit. Because I'm not that smart when it comes to that kind of stuff. So it was fun, and then we also, we ended up ordering in. We actually didn't eat out, we ordered in. Since everyone always asks us, what did you eat? The one day that you ate out a week, what did you eat? We ordered in a Japanese restaurant that we had never ordered from before. My wife got beef teriyaki and a variety of things in a bento box, and I got chicken katsu and a variety of things in a bento box. And it was very good. We were like, wow, this is actually really good, and the value was good because the price of the bento box essentially was cheaper than a dinner you would have gotten somewhere else, yet it was more filling, I would argue, because it had so much different kinds of food. It was really good. So to give you some example, like my wife had beef teriyaki and a side of rice, but also they gave her like 3 gyoza, some California rolls, of course not real crab in the California roll because that would be too expensive. So it was like imitation crab California rolls. And I think there was some tempura veggies. Like there was like tempura beans and tempura like potato slices and stuff like that in it too. Why do I feel like there was something? Oh, and it came with a little side salad too. So that's crazy. For less than what you would pay, like a normal restaurant, you go out, you pay like $15-20. This is like cheaper than that. So like, damn, that's great value. So it was a really good dinner we had. We ordered in though because it was so hot. We are going through a second heat wave here in Washington State. The first heat wave was a month ago, and that's when we hit 111 degrees, the record high temperature here forever. This week we're supposed to hit around 90 degrees, so not nearly as hot, but still hot as hell for us here. We're not used to that kind of weather. So we're out yesterday on our day out, and we're like sweating bullets. We're like, oh my God. This is bad out here. Every time we got in the car, it's like sitting in an oven, So we're like, damn. we don't want to be out all day, so we ended up coming home early and ordering in, so that way we could cool down at home. And it worked out. I ended up watching Kat play Yakuza 5 for a while. She finished up the plot line with, what's her name? The girl? I forget her name. But she won the Princess League or whatever. I was like, oh yeah, I remember doing that many years ago. So that was fun. You know, and then we did some chores and stuff because we were around the house. So, oh wow, we washed some clothes, washed the sheets. You know, very exciting stuff that we did yesterday. But definitely, one of the things that throws me for a loop, all right, is that it seems to me every single day I go off, there's always gaming news whenever I'm off. So half the time when I'm here streaming with you guys, nothing happens. Bored. There's no news today, nothing to talk about. There was like tons of gaming news yesterday. Ridiculous amount. And of course, I wasn't there to talk about it. I'm like, oh my God, man. Why does all the news always come out when I'm not around? Right? Frustrating. Excuse me. So anyway, today we'll be talking about a lot of that right here on the pre-stream. I've got like 4 major news stories to talk about. So I'm not going to go super long here talking about other stuff on the pre-stream because I want to get to the gaming news, okay? Fair enough? Okay. So let's get to it. Let's talk the schedule for the week. Let's get through some quick plugs, and let's get to gaming news. All right? Fair enough? All right. So, schedule for the week. Today, the continuation of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. We're about to head into the second half of the game. We've beaten the first half of the game, which is the preliminary stuff, learning how to use the controls, and essentially beating the first 3 dungeons, getting the base level abilities. Okay? Now, we're going to head into the second half of the game. This half of the game is different because you basically go back to the same areas you've been in. And in these areas, excuse me, in these areas, you basically you go back to the places you've already been with new abilities to get items you missed, and also there's new dungeons hidden in the same areas you've already been in that are way more challenging than the original dungeons, okay? So, I'm excited for this. Skyward Sword, we're actually about to do a major plot development right now. It actually is about to happen in the game. And then we'll go from there, and we'll see where else the game takes us today, okay? Later tonight, this is a big one. This is one people have been excited for and anticipating. Ladies and gentlemen, later tonight on the late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, is the premiere of Microsoft Flight Simulator. That's right, folks. On the Xbox Series X, and in fact, this will be the first new release on the Xbox Series X that I'll be checking out ever. Since I got my console, a few weeks ago, there really hasn't been anything going on in gaming, but now, finally, it released yesterday, and man, this game needs a lot of updates, let me tell you. So, you download the base game, which already had auto-downloaded for me. Then, it's got to download an update, and that update is giant, and then you got to boot the game up, and when you boot the game up, then it has to download more shit. So, wow. That's a lot of stuff to download. The good news is I got it all loaded for tonight. Okay? Of course, the question is thus. How will it actually run on console? I don't know. How will I learn the controls? Will I actually be able to learn them in a 2-hour session tonight and do a good flight, or will we be crashing constantly because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, right? I don't know. I guess we're going to try to figure it out. And go from there. Alright? So, how big is it? Stokes says, how big is it? The base game was 100 gigs. But I don't actually know if the updates were significantly larger than that. They might have been. They seriously might have been like way bigger. Maybe my hard drive's full now. I don't even know. I have no idea. So we'll see tonight. 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. What's going to happen with my first session ever of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Alright, fair enough? Okay, tomorrow, Thursday, it's going to be the return of Ask the King. This is my bi-monthly Q&A show where I have a dedicated show to answer your burning questions. Alright? Now, if you have not done so yet, I strongly recommend you post up your questions for the show ahead of time over on my forums. The way you can do that is by typing !Ask the King into the stream chat. That'll bring up the link. You can click on and go over to the forums. And you post up your questions early. The reason I say that is because tomorrow is not a normal stream. Usually my stream starts 10:45 a.m. It does not start at that time tomorrow. It starts later because this gives me extra time to head over to my forums and review all of your questions that you've been posting up. Okay? So, please post up. The more questions I get ahead of time, the better the show is. It gives me more time to review them, to find the ones that I feel like I can give good, intelligent, and entertaining answers to. Alright, now, also, while I'm doing that, alright, I also accept Twitter questions. So, tomorrow, if you absolutely are against posting up on my forums for some oddball reason, and you want a chance to have your question answered on the show, I will post up on my Twitter at They Call Me DSP tomorrow morning when I'm accepting Twitter questions, okay? So just so you know, that's a viable way to get your question answered live for the show, okay? Now we have time. Sometimes I also take questions from the stream chat, but it really depends on how long it's taken me to get through that show and answer everyone's questions, you see? So really, we'll see, time constraints wise, how many good questions we get, how long it takes me to answer them, etc., and we'll go from there. All right? Sound good? So that's tomorrow's main stream. That starts later than usual, around 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. That'll give me a couple extra hours to essentially sit down, answer your questions, and also that stream needs a lot of extra setup. I gotta get stuff ready to give shout-outs to patrons and stuff, too. Okay? Very good. Now, tomorrow night, the late stream is going to be momentous and epic because tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, it is essentially the conclusion of Danganronpa V3. Now, the thing is, people are saying that there's maybe 3 hours left in the game, and I only do 2-hour night streams. So it looks like we'll probably need about 2 more streams to finish it. Tomorrow night will definitely be one of them, and we'll see how far we can get in the game tomorrow night, okay? So I hope you're excited for that. For those who've been watching this playthrough since March, yes, I started it in mid-March. Here we are, finally about to finish the game in July. Finally! Holy crap. Alright. Then, on Friday, we're going to swing back to Fallout New Vegas for a major stream of fun. Currently, we're doing all kinds of missions on the Strip, and I think we actually are just starting up with quest lines in order to try to help out the Robo-Dog Rex. Okay? So we'll probably start with those and then go from there and see where the stream takes us. You know, with more Strip missions. We have so much stuff to do on the Strip in this game. There's a ton of content that we can check out. So I'm excited for that on Friday. Okay? Friday night is my weekly late night session of throwback Street Fighter fun. 2 hours of old school Street Fighter. Alright, it's good stuff. I enjoy doing it because not only do I get to play fighting games, which I really enjoy, but playing these classics allows me to share my extensive knowledge and experience of these classic fighting games with you guys. You know, games I used to play in the arcades back in the 90s, and I can now share that expertise with you every week, and I really enjoy doing that. So, hope you'll be here for the fighting game fun on Friday night, okay? Alright, then, on Saturday, we will swing back to Skyward Sword for a major stream. And essentially on Saturday night, we'll have to see what happened with Danganronpa, because I might just want to finish it. I might just want to be saying, man, let's end this right now. Let's get it done with. So that way we can say the game is done, we can focus in on other things, okay? Sunday, probably more Fallout, and that'll likely be paired with endgame content of Mass Effect 3, okay? Mass Effect 3, we are basically only have the final missions left, and depending on how, you know, how well I do on them will determine how much I have left in the game, but I'm thinking another 2 streams, 3 streams tops, and we're actually done with Mass Effect 3 as well. And then on Monday, likely more Skyward Sword or more Fallout, depending on what I feel like, and that'll probably be paired on Monday night, excuse me, with Microsoft stuff. What stuff? I don't know. Maybe we'll do another Flight Simulator stream if you guys like it tonight, or maybe we can do that late night Game Pass stream that I've been talking about, where what we're going to do is sit down and look at all the games on Game Pass available and pick out maybe 5 or 6 for me to do in the upcoming Game Pass marathon, because yes, it is official. There will be a marathon. That first week of August, there's going to be a fun gaming marathon event, the Game Pass Marathon, where I'm going to be playing a variety of Game Pass games over the course of a day that you guys will help me pick together live. And then, that's going to turn into a fun marathon stream. Maybe some of those playthroughs will be so good, or some of those games we check out are so good, I want to do full playthroughs of them. Also, there will be a new edition of Feasting with the King on that day. So there you go. That's all coming up soon. So once we get Danganronpa finished, once we get to the end of Mass Effect 3, then we can focus heavily in on the Game Pass stuff that you guys have been wanting for weeks. And I'm happy to do that. I'm unfortunately have not been able to just jump right into it because we have so many lingering playthroughs, but the good news is we are finishing them up at a rapid pace. Okay? Good stuff. Now, before I get to plugs, I have something quickly I want to cover. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to cover some basic rules for all of you so that everyone is on the same page and understanding, because I want to be sure to cover these ground rules so that everyone understands them. And if people violate them, understand that you're violating the rules and you're going to be moderated just like anyone else would. All right? Ladies and... Oh, hold on. Woo! I felt that one coming. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the owner and operator of this stream. This stream is my place of business as well as a cool hangout session that I have with you guys every single day. All right? It is my responsibility to make sure that the stream is running properly. It's my responsibility to make sure that the stream is moderated properly. It's also my responsibility to make sure that this operates as a place of business and that I basically have enough support to keep going. I want to repeat that. It's my responsibility to do that. It is not anyone else's responsibility whatsoever to do that. If there's going to be advertisement on my channel, it will be from me, because I am the person who operates the channel. You understand that? Hear what I'm saying? So, please do not take it upon yourself, whether you are a newcomer or a super fan. Alright? It is not your place nor your job to be doing advertising on my behalf on my channel. That means it's not your job to try to rally people to contribute, to try to rally people to become members, to try to rally them to do anything. That's my job. And every once in a while you'll hear me mention it. Right now, and I'm about to have that segment on my very pre-stream where I tell you guys the ways you can contribute and support the channel. Alright? Now, the reason I'm saying this is because there's been, the last week or so, apparently people having issue with a certain stream chatter. And this stream chatter has been doing this, and people are finding it obnoxious. Okay? In addition, trolls have latched onto this stream chatter. Alright? And now are saying, oh, look, what we're going to do is we're going to literally just argue with this guy the whole stream. This will completely derail Phil's streams, which is exactly what we want. Alright? So I want you to understand something. I can't have it anymore. Alright? I can't. I can't have this baloney anymore on my streams. I can't have my streams being completely derailed with people arguing with others and doing things that are not within their realm of responsibility. Okay? So, I'm saying this up front so that it's public. So everyone understands the policy here on the stream. Alright? This is my stream. If I'm going to advertise, if I'm going to talk about, ways to contribute and the like, fine. It is not your job nor your place to do so, and if you do so, it's considered stream derailing, and you will be moderated appropriately. In addition, if you decide to start arguing with other stream chatters, that's your fault, and that's also stream derailment, and you will be moderated appropriately. Alright? I understand if there's someone you don't like. Okay, this guy's really obnoxious. Then tell a moderator. Tell me. Don't take it upon yourselves to start up big arguments in the chat, and now you got people, I'm playing a game, and I look at the chat, oh, let's see people's reaction to the game. Oh, everyone's just arguing together about this fucking one guy. Like, fuck this. No. I'm not going to have it at all. It's that simple. If I start seeing it, you're out of here. Zero tolerance policy for this. Because we're starting a new week fresh. I feel this is a great opportunity. Let's come back from my break here and let's start things fresh. Right? Let's start things fresh. And let's not derail, and let's all have a positive, good time together. If I see it, you're out of here. I don't want to hear complaining. I don't want to hear excuses. I just want you out. Because I'm here to have fun with my audience, not to see people arguing with each other about bullshit. Okay? So I hope that makes sense to everyone. Fair enough? Does that sound good? I hope so. I hope that sounds good to all of you. And by the way, This also includes any kind of spam. I've noticed what people are doing now is they'll spam a certain command a ton. Like 10 people in a row will spam the tips command. 10 people will spam the membership command. Then they'll be like, oh, the bot's broken. No, it's not. The bot purposely has a timer on it. So you guys can't spam the commands. Because people are immature and they come in here and then they try to do that. And again, that'll flood the chat. And I can't have that. How would you like it if you came into a chat and the whole chat's just bot commands constantly? No one can even talk, right? So I know what people are doing. That's why I have these things in effect, so that the chat doesn't get screwed up. So understand that, and if I see people trying to abuse the system, I'm also going to moderate you too. Okay? Every once in a while you want to do a chat command. That's fine. But if I see you spamming 20 in a row, I think I'm going to give you Das Boot and say adios muchachos. Go on someone else's stream. Alright? So I hope that makes sense. I wanted to say that up front, so that way it's out of the way and we can move forward nice and positively today, okay? So let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, I am an independent content creator and streamer. I don't have any partnerships with anyone. I don't have any sponsorships with anyone. I've been here for 13 years, and the reason very much so is because of you. You guys and your efforts to support someone like me who has no funding, no backing, nothing like that. It's just about putting out honest, fun, and interactive content for you guys on a daily basis. And in a very unique way. The way that I do it is different than a lot of other people. And people appreciate that, and they come and they support the streams because of that. And I appreciate that because I get to do what I love for a living. I get to chill with you guys every day and have a great time. And quite frankly, a lot of the really positive things that have been happening recently around here, right? Just take a look at some of the things that are better, improving around, are because of you guys directly. And I really, really appreciate that. I hope you know that, all right? If you like the content I put out and you like me and you like the streams, you want to see it continue, there are many ways that you can positively contribute to the streams, such as becoming a channel member. By joining the channel, you get many good, positive things, including a highlighted name in the stream chat, the ability to ignore the slow mode requirement that you can only talk once every 10 seconds. Instead, you'll be able to talk as much as you want. You'll get all kinds of emotes unlocked. Currently, there's 18 emotes unlocked, but you get even more as more people join as members. All right? And you get a cool chat crown badge to show how long you've actually been an ongoing supporter of the channel. Very nice. Okay? If you do a super chat or a super sticker, which are ways that you can contribute through YouTube itself, those are appreciated. Or if you tip me on the stream today, that's also appreciated. Everything, every method of contribution is greatly appreciated. Okay? Now, matter of factly, the best way to contribute out of all of those would be by tipping me, because the tips basically go directly to me. I could put them towards a bill. I could put them towards the cost of a game. I could put them towards something important behind the scenes. Hell, I just bought groceries and stuff on my day off because of tips, to be honest. So, thank you to anyone who goes out of their way to tip me, because that does help me a little bit more than everything else. I'm not saying that becoming a member or super chats and stuff don't help. They do. They absolutely do help. But it's you guys who tip me who are going to the extra mile, essentially. All right? That's why, if you do tip me, we have rewards goals in place for those who tip. If we raise $50 of tips, I'll put on my Gunner glasses. If we raise $100 of tips, I'll put on a vest of your choice. And ladies and gentlemen, after last week, now we go back to normal. Meaning there will be no more gold vest eligible for every stream. As of today, here are the vests eligible. The beige, the red, the denim, and the platinum. Those are the 4 vests eligible for today's first stream of Zelda Skyward Sword. So if we hit $100 of tips, those will be the vests you're voting on. Okay? No, if we hit the full tips goal of $150, I'll put on a cowboy hat and look like a fool. But, FYI, just so you guys know, I am in the midst of thinking about other hats and things that I can wear during the stream, so it's not always the same thing over and over. I didn't have a chance to find anything yesterday. My wife and I actually wanted to do way more out than we got a chance to because it was so hot. So over the course of the next couple of weeks, I'll likely start looking out when it's not as hot as it was yesterday, for other kind of hats and things that I can put on during the streams instead of just the cowboy hat. Okay? Just so you know. So, thank you in advance. If you contribute in any way, I'm going to give you a shout out, and I'm also going to have a nice visual pop-up here on the screen. Alright? Now, if you decide to actively violate the stream rules by doing something stupid, like insulting me or derailing the chat or saying something ridiculously dumb and off-topic, that I'm never going to read it, then obviously I don't have any obligation to say or do anything on my own streams. I control what I say and do on these streams. I hope you guys understand that. Ultimately, it's in my decision-making power if I want to actually give a shout-out or not. But 99 times out of 100, I want to give a shout out because I'm very, very grateful to those who contribute to the streams and allow me to continue to do what I love for a living. Thank you in advance to anyone who is considering contributing. I really appreciate it. Fair enough. Okay. Good stuff, guys. All right. Let us now get to the news. We've got so much news to talk about this morning that I want to jump into it. It's so many news stories. It's crazy. You ready? First of all, the Blizzard Activision fiasco continues. They're being sued by California for basically ridiculous work practices and unsafe workplace, alleging rampant sexual harassment, rampant unequal treatment of employees, among other things. Activision Blizzard's initial response to this lawsuit was saying that it was frivolous and they felt that it was rushed and it wasn't true. The employees themselves of the company are so upset that Activision Blizzard act like this stuff isn't happening when they know it is. They have staged a walkout today, and they will not be working at all. This is almost the entirety of Activision Blizzard have decided they're not working today because their management is a bunch of fucktards. And they just are not going to allow them to ignore this insane cultural problem within their company. So when this was announced that pretty much almost all the employees were going to walk out today, Bobby Kotick, the CEO of Activision Blizzard, who's been under fire recently for receiving record-breaking profits, $140 million salary for running the company, despite the fact that this company apparently is being run like shit internally, came out with a letter to his employees. Oh, we're so sorry. Our initial reaction was very tone deaf. So what we're going to do is we're going to start having these feel-good sessions with our employees to make sure that they all feel good. And open door policy. No one will ever be, disciplined for saying something. Oh, we're hiring a third-party company to come in and try to help us now and change our corporate culture. Funny how Bobby completely ignored all of this. 100%. He ignored all of it until they said they were staging a walkout. Seriously. Then all of a sudden, he's like, oh shit, our employees are going to walk out on us? I guess we should do something then. It's completely disingenuous, man. The guy is basically, he's a fucking scumbag, man. Like, seriously. He's a fucking asshole. He just got gifted record-breaking profits. And the initial reaction was, oh, this lawsuit couldn't possibly have any validity. This is just someone, chasing an ambulance chasing an attorney or something. Despite the fact that they had 2 years of researching this rampant issue in the company, hundreds of hours of documented interviews and evidence that this was happening. And he acts like it wasn't. Oh, they're just rushing to it. What an asshole. Yes, Stoic, that is correct. Earlier this year, Activision laid off 800 employees despite the fact that they had record-breaking profits that year. Yes, that is correct. Basically, this company is one of the most evil companies out there when it comes to game development. And they're rolling in dough because people don't really talk about it that much. And this company likes to pretend like it's all about equality and social justice. It's not. The culture inside is apparently insanely toxic. And it's funny because the thing is, it's kind of a similar situation to what has been happening at Ubisoft recently. If you don't know, in the last couple of years, Ubisoft came under fire for very similar things. That management essentially was sexist and stupid and making dumbass decisions internally that made no sense. And in fact, one of the things that they said, Mass Effect, Assassin's Creed Odyssey was supposed to have only a female protagonist. But one of these people, these men in power, said, oh, that game will never sell if it just has a female protagonist. We need the option to make a male as well. Have to have both. There's no way that just having a female will sell games. And this is the kind of shit that is rampant these days in gaming culture. It's fucking stupid at these companies that these kind of people are in power. They're that dumb. Okay? So Ubisoft has had a shuffling of management and supposedly an internal improvement process over the last year or so. But what's happening at Ubisoft, for those who don't know, basically there's a big headhunting fiasco going on. What that means is that other companies that want to make good games are taking a look at the talent within Ubisoft and saying, you don't deserve to be there. You don't deserve to be at a company that treats you like shit, that has these terrible practices internally. Come work for us and we'll pay you good money and you don't have to deal with that shit. And people are leaving Ubisoft in droves. It's actually bad. Like, the headhunting has been so bad. A lot of their top talent have left in the last year. Okay? And Ubisoft basically didn't really change anything internally. They shuffled management around. They had internal classes where they were like, oh, re-education. Nothing changed. In fact, one of the major things that's criticized about Ubisoft is that the guy in charge, Yves Guillemot, or whatever the fuck his name is still in charge anyway. Like, he acts like nothing changed, and he hasn't taken any personal responsibility at all for the fucked up stuff that's happened at his company. In his opinion, oh, we could fix it. Like, no, you were the one who was in charge. You're the problem. You allowed all the fucked up stuff to happen under you. You're the one who needs to go. Forget everyone else under you that did the messed up stuff. You're the one who allowed it. So you should be the first one out the door. Okay? So basically, people are comparing this situation to the same thing with Activision Blizzard, where they're saying Bobby Kotick is one of the highest paid CEOs in gaming. $140 million. He lays off 800 employees that he didn't need to lay off at all. Then come to find out, oh, your whole company's toxic as shit, and you're being sued for it. Right? Wow. So, I guess we'll see what happens. Obviously, this is going to be a huge story in gaming because Activision Blizzard is huge. I mean, they're responsible for some of the biggest franchises in gaming. World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Diablo, StarCraft. Now let's flop over to the other side of it, right? Call of fucking Duty. Holy shit. So, and what's hilarious about all of this is they were supposed to be releasing information about the new Call of Duty right about now. Like, it was documented that they were supposed to, either like last week of July or first week of August, they were supposed to be dropping information about the new Call of Duty coming out in October. And now, how exactly would they be doing that? Because if they do, everyone's going to be like, I ain't playing that fucking game. That company's toxic as shit, right? A lot of people are actually calling publicly for boycotts until they decide to change internally. So, I guess we're going to see what happens. All right? I guess we're going to see what happens. What I found the most hilarious part about all this, World of Warcraft users have staged an in-game standing protest. So, in order to protest the bad policies of the company, you're going to play the game and give money to the company. But stage a protest in the game. What? You want to know how they could have protested this thing? Not playing World of Warcraft. They could have said, we're staging a day when no one logs into World of Warcraft and we leave the servers empty, and show them that at any time we can just get out of here and do something else. There's other MMOs we can play that aren't run by toxic companies. Instead, they all played the game. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Anyway, it's funny because some people are saying, will you join the boycott? I just announced last week I'm not playing Call of Duty anymore. I just announced this. I said I'm done playing Black Ops Cold War. Like, I've played it to the extent that I want to play it. I really enjoyed playing it over the last year, but I'm done with it. I want to move on to other stuff. We're going to be finishing up Danganronpa. We're going to be finishing up Mass Effect 3, and I want to move on to other stuff from Game Pass. I'm not playing Call of Duty anymore. So, essentially, my ending of playing Call of Duty completely coincided with this fiasco by complete coincidence. It wasn't even intentional. Pretty funny. Okay. So that's news story number 1. News story number 2. There used to be a gaming company back in the 1990s that was actually one of the bigger game developers, and they had a very big variety of games under their belt. Fighting games, strategy games, RPGs, action games. This company made a lot of games in the 90s, and I actually particularly remember buying and or renting games from this company and enjoying their titles and saying, wow, this is actually a pretty good game developer. They make a variety of games. And I'm talking back, SNES days and stuff like that, okay? It's been announced the company is coming back as a new company this year. Yeah. I can't believe it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's official. LJN Entertainment is back. They're going to remake games such as Back to the Future, Friday the 13th, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. All those licensed titles are coming back. Okay. No, I'm kidding. That is not the company. LJN actually was infamous for making some of the worst licensed titles of the 80s and 90s. The game company that's coming back that's actually really good, Interplay Entertainment. They're now coming back and being known as Interplay 2021. This company was responsible for franchises such as MDK, Clay Fighter, and yes, Fallout. They made the original Fallout games. Okay? It's very interesting to me that this is happening because this company has been defunct for quite some time. And the fact that now it's been decided that they will be reformed and come back as a steady game development group is quite interesting. Now, they're just announcing this. They're basically saying we're just getting this project off the ground, but they've already announced that they're bringing back franchises like Clay Fighter. Clay Fighter. Clay Fighter. What? It's the return of Nanaman. Nanaman is coming back full force to cover you in his sticky potassium goo once again. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about. I played the Clay Fighter games in the 90s. Clay Fighter, listen to this. It's a fighting game franchise where everyone is claymation. So in the original game, there was like a blob made of green goo. There was a guy who was supposed to be like a big roided muscle guy. His name was Tiny. I'm trying to remember all the characters. I think there was a clown. And then in the sequel, they went crazy, and they had like a guy that was like a robot rabbit Terminator. It was supposed to be like a parody of Arnold in Terminator 2. And then there was Nanaman, a living banana that would throw banana peels and shit at you. It was a very wild game. It played kind of like Mortal Kombat, which I know sounds weird. Oh, that's right, Bad Mr. Frosty. Remember Bad Mr. Frosty? It was supposed to be Frosty the Snowman gone bad for the 90s. Bad Mr. Frosty. I forgot all about that. That's awesome, dude. So anyway, I mean, yes, exactly. Battletoads is so like Robot Chicken. Yeah, it was Robot Chicken before Robot Chicken ever existed. It's a hilarious game franchise. And, you know, was it played competitively? Yes and no. It was, but it was never taken seriously like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. It was kind of like a spin-off fighting game series at the height of when fighting games were very popular. It was also console only. They never had any arcade games. It was only made for consoles. Yeah. So anyway, it certainly sounds crazy to me if it's real. All right? This was all over the internet yesterday. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but this just sounded so weird to me. I'm reading all these announcements. People are going crazy on the internet. It's being covered by mainstream news sites and stuff, right? So I don't know if it's true or not because it was just a bunch of like public postings and a bunch of, like I said, a bunch of news sites actually covered it, saying it sounds like it's, you know. Oh, people are saying it's fake? How do you know it's fake? It's fake and not real? Oh, come on. Well, that's disappointing then. If it's actually a big prank, that's actually pisses me off. I want Clay Fighter, dude. I seriously want Clay Fighter back. That would be amazing. Oh, it's legitimately fake. Oh, come on. Come on. Guys. Come on. Well, anyway, when I was looking at this on social media yesterday, everyone thought it was real, including gaming news sites. That sucks. Alright. Well, it is what it is, I guess. Let's continue. We have a new... Oh my god, I can't believe this one. So you guys remember Abandoned, the game that everyone has created conspiracy theories about, that it basically is going to be Kojima making like Silent Hill, right? Right? Well, guess what? They released a promotional material yesterday that 100% at this point is jumping the shark at this point. It says Abandoned preview app is coming. I think it's supposed to be like the first week of August or something like that. So they're saying it's available for people like very soon on PS5. What it's supposed to be is, instead of being a trailer, it's an app you download to your PS5, and then you can play like a playable teaser of the game. Okay? So apparently that's what's coming. But when they released this promotional piece of artwork on Twitter, in the background there's a faded picture of a guy wearing an eye patch, and there's text that's blurred out, and people are saying that if you unblur it, it's possible it says directed by Hideo Kojima. But it sounds, I don't know, this whole thing sounds like an elaborate prank at this point. How could you do that? Why would you release it like that? They've been denying outright they have any ties to Kojima. But then they release a picture with a guy with a blurry eye patch in the background that obviously looks like Snake from one of the fucking Metal Gear games. So, obviously, at this point, they're fucking with everyone, I feel. I feel like they're actively doing this. Like, they realize the amount of attention they got on their game, and now they just want to mess with everyone constantly. So, again, we don't know what this is going to be. When this app comes out, it could be interesting to play the app and see exactly what it is. Okay? I guess we'll find out. But at this point, it might just be big, like, publicity stunt after publicity stunt, and then it ends up being just a crappy thing. Who knows, right? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. I guess we're going to find out. All right? And then lastly, the last piece of gaming news came out in I'd say around middle of yesterday, when all of a sudden, people started posting up that PCs are now banned. Huh? Of course, that was incorrect story. So then they amend the story and they say, high-end gaming rigs and PCs that have high power consumption are being banned from sale in certain states, and therefore, essentially, high-end gaming PCs are banned in the states of California, Washington, and many other states. Huh? That's also wrong. All right? What I like is when these situations come out, when these explanations come out, people don't actually research them. They just misreport the information, and then basically a rumor or, you know, gossip spreads, and it ends up being completely incorrect. So I actually did look into this situation to find out what's really going on. All right? Here's what's really going on. In certain states of the United States, including the one I live in, Washington, but also California and others, there's been an initiative to try to reduce active power consumption. I don't know if it's a green initiative where they're trying to help the planet, or maybe they just feel like there's too much of a strain on the power grid. All right? I don't know what the actual roots of the legislation is. But essentially, lawmakers are trying to pass laws that are going to try to reduce the amount of energy that's used on an active basis. Okay? Now, one of the things that they're targeting is use of electricity by certain devices, but it's not what you think. They're not trying to say, oh, if you have a high-end gaming PC, we're going to charge you extra money, a tax on your PC. They're not trying to do that. And they're not trying to say, oh, you cannot buy a high-end gaming PC in these states. In fact, it's quite the opposite. There's zero regulation on the buying and selling of any kind of computer hardware at all in regards to this new law, nor does it prevent you from playing anything that sucks a lot of energy. Okay? What the regulations are stating, all right, is that in these states, oh, by the way, the white deer just said, here are the states. It's California, Washington, Vermont, Hawaii, Colorado, and Oregon. Thank you for saying that. So here's what the actual legislation is, all right? When certain PCs are in an idle state, that means you're not actively using it for work or gaming purposes, but essentially when it's in a sleep mode or when it's in an idle mode, because all PCs have these now, where you don't have to totally shut it down, but you can basically leave it on as like an idle running deal, okay? These PCs have to now have certain energy requirements and regulations, because they're not actively seeking to say you can't use a gaming PC. What they're trying to say is when these things are not being actively used, they're sucking a ton of power off the grid that they don't need to because you're not using them. Okay? I guess that kind of makes sense to me. I mean, if you're not using it, why do you want it sucking power to begin with? Here's the thing. A lot of people don't realize this. A lot of things in your house are actively sucking power from your wall. If it's plugged in, even if it's down, shut down, idle, some things still actively suck power out of your wall even when they're not being used. And I think what people don't realize is what a giant drain this could be, not only on the grid, but, I mean, financially, Right now in your house, if you unplugged everything from the wall except for when you were using it, you'd probably save yourself some kind of money on your electric bill. Maybe it's not enough to make that work worthwhile. So, for example, if you saved $5 on your electric bill, it's probably not enough to say, I want to go around my house constantly unplugging and replugging everything in, right? So for us, it ain't a big deal, but for the power companies, it is, because this is a drain on the grid from every household, right? And I guess what they're saying is they're targeting these particular devices that are, in particular, not being used in idle mode, but are still draining a ton. And apparently, yes, these high-end gaming PCs are of that situation, okay? So from what I'm going to understand, what happened overnight was this regulation went into place. Now, PC manufacturing companies and resellers like Dell, and Alienware in particular, because Alienware is owned by Dell, weren't ready to accommodate for this new law. And so the law going into effect essentially means, well, they can't sell the PCs as is because a lot of these have not been reconfigured to consume less energy when in sleep mode yet. So if they have a PC ready to sell in the box sitting in a warehouse, you can't sell that in the states that just passed this new law, because then you'd be violating the new law and you could be held accountable for it. So basically overnight, certain sites have held selling to those states until they can figure out what they want to do. Do they want someone to actually go into their inventory and reconfigure these PCs so they don't drain as much? Or, do they just want to sell off the inventory they have, and then the next batch they manufacture, this is a new thing that they do on the production line? You see, they got to figure this out now. Okay? And that could be a lot of money lost for these companies, especially if they have mass-produced these PCs, and now all of a sudden they're being told, guess what, you can't sell them in these certain places. I mean, I don't know how big of a deal it is. For example, right, for me, personally, I absolutely need to look into getting a brand new gaming PC in the next 1 to 2 years to replace the one I'm using, because this thing's 7 years old. I use it actively every single day, and I know it's not going to last forever. The thing already has some issues. I'm very happy that it's as stable as it's been for 7 years, but I know I'm going to have to upgrade. And by the way, if I upgrade my PC, that means I can then upgrade my webcam, which means I can then upgrade my setup. I can do green screen shit that people have always wanted, you see. So it's all available. It's all possible once I upgrade my PC. The problem is, I would want to essentially get a pre-built. I would not want to buy a ton of individual components and build the thing myself. I haven't done that in a million years. I don't want to fuck with that, you see? I don't want to take a chance that I screw something up, I bend a pin, I break something, and now I'm fucked with a dead PC. That doesn't work, right? But the problem here now is, I might not even be able to do that. I might be able to go buy a pre-built PC, and they say, well, then none of them are available because they can't be sold in your state because we didn't configure any of them to have these new sleep mode, idle mode requirements, so you're fucked. Yeah, that could literally be happening right now, where I just cannot buy a pre-built PC. Now, there's nothing to stop someone from buying components and building their own PC. There's nothing to stop someone from buying a PC and shipping it to you. That should be something else that I should emphasize. These are only for sales within a state. Someone could literally, if someone in New York State could buy a PC and send it to someone in one of the states where it's not allowed, and then it's allowed. You see? This regulation is only for buying and selling within those states. That's it. So there's about 4 billion ways around it. And it's not a huge panic mode kind of a deal. But people are treating it like it is. Like, this is the first step to full-on regulation of everything. Well, aren't technically game consoles PCs? So are you going to say now that my Xbox Series X in idle mode also is too much of an energy sucker? So now you can't buy or sell the Xbox Series X? You see what I'm saying? So people are basically saying, this is the first step towards that kind of a deal. And they're worried about, they don't like any kind of regulation at all. And the fact that this is scary to people, apparently in 2009, there was a law that was going to attempt to tax people a certain amount of money per television in their home, according to Californian law or something. Like, in California, they were actually going to ask people, how many fucking TVs do you have in your house? And per TV, they were going to tax you for this, like, every year. Or something crazy like that, right? So, this is just another attempt at something crazy like that. And people don't like that at all. They don't want regulation. They don't want people, these companies sticking their nose, or excuse me, the company. They don't want governments sticking their noses into their own personal business. And I can understand that, because we've seen many times, all right, over the years where the government tries to interject itself into this kind of shit, but they just don't understand the full capacity of how stuff works, right? And then what happens? We get these insanely wide-reaching laws that screw everything up for people because these lawmakers didn't understand what they were actually doing. They didn't understand the technology that they were regulating, and then they fuck everything up. I mean, how many times in the last decade have we seen internet-based laws almost screw the internet over, right? So I can completely understand why some people are afraid at this situation. Personally, I think this is something that's not a bad thing. Why, if I have a PC and it's supposed to be in sleep or idle mode, why is it sucking so much energy out of the wall? I don't want to be paying extra on my electric bill, and I'm not using the fucking PC, so why is it doing that? You see? So I'm all for making these PCs more efficient, which essentially is what the law is aiming for. The law does not care about outlawing PCs. It doesn't care about people playing gaming PCs. It cares about excessive power grid use, and that's essentially what they want. They want these things to become more power efficient when not being used so that the power grid can get a little bit of, you know, alleviation. So I understand where they're coming from. I just don't know that a blanket bill doing this like overnight is really the way to go about it, because now you got people panicking and misunderstanding what's going on, and people do have a valid point saying if this is just the beginning, right? What if now they start doing it on a million other things and now everything's fucked? So I can totally understand that, all right? So those are the gaming news stories, all right, guys, from the last day. A ton of them. What I'd like to do now is shout-outs, all right? So we start off with shout-outs for those who've contributed via YouTube. We've got Sergeant Major Gross did a super chat this morning. Thank you. And Disaludza did a super chat. It says, firms don't care firms don't care until money tanks. Performative and fake. Well, right. I mean, take a look at Activision Blizzard. Their initial response to this lawsuit from California is, oh, they're definitely rushing and jumping the gun. This definitely isn't a legit situation that, like, they're saying. They're full of crap. You know, our company's not like that. And then the employee said, bullshit, it is. We're all going to just fucking strike then if you're going to do that. We're going to walk out on you because if you ignore the problems, we don't want to work here anymore. Right? So now, what happened? Their stocks crashed. If you take a look, I think they dropped $8 or something like that in a day or something crazy like that. So, when that happened, Mr. Bobby Kotick has to write an email to everyone assuring them we're taking real responsibility now, even though we literally said the opposite just a day ago. Oh, now we're doing a complete 180 and we're going to take your concerns very seriously. Oh, I always believe a guy who lays off 800 employees and takes a $140 million paycheck. Those are the most trustworthy people on the planet, you know? I mean, essentially what's happening is poor Bobby Kotick might not be able to buy his 4th yacht this year. He might have to hold back and only settle for the 3. And that's unfortunate, you know? Sometimes you need that 4th yacht. I'm sure at least 100 of those employees he laid off paid just for the waxing, you know? So, there you go. Anyway, let's continue. Let's get to some tips. So, first of all, Jad F tipped me $1.30. He says, over 10 million PlayStation 5s have been sold worldwide. Additional figures, some PlayStation 5 games like Spider-Man Miles Morales sold 6.5 million. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart 1 million. Returnal 500,000. How the heck are people calling Returnal and Ratchet & Clank smashing hits with those low sales? The truth is this. There's 2 things going on. Number 1, yes, 10 million PS5s have been sold to scalpers. All right? That includes the scalpers who literally are buying every single PS5 available off the production line so that they can resell for a profit. That's why the sales numbers are so high. When you take a look at 10 million sold, but the best-selling game is a 6.5 million seller, that's a telling thing. That tells you half the consoles are not being used, if not more, right? Ratchet & Clank was supposed to be the giant system exclusive. If you owned a PS5, you were going to buy it. Only 1 million out of the 10 million people bought it. Obviously, that's telling you something about the actual availability of this console. Again, this is basically, it's bullshit. You can't actually get the console, and if you get it, people aren't buying every game for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a very telling statistic about what's going on right now. Why do you think people are saying I still can't get a PS5, yet they say there's 10 million sold? Because they're sitting with the scalpers. It's pretty fucked up in reality, you know. Hopefully we get a handle on this situation, because it ain't going to get any better. It's just going to get worse with this processor shortage, right? A lot of people, I feel, they bought a PS5 and they're really holding out for good exclusives. They're probably holding out for good ones coming out in the next few months. Like Kena Bridge of Spirits is coming out in August. What's the other one coming out relatively soon? There's another one too. I can't remember. You know, I bet a lot of people are going to get the Ghost of Tsushima expansion. I'm getting it. You know, I'm going to get it for PS5. It's $30. I'm definitely getting it. I bet a lot of people will jump on that who played it on PS4 and have a PS5 now. So, anyway, let's continue. Jadef actually did another $1.30 tip. Hold on. Oh, excuse me. I had to spin around to burp to the wall. Okay. Jadef did another $1.30 tip, and he says, since Wings was shat on by Twitch, why don't you team up with him to piss off the toxic community and get to talk show or play co-op games on YouTube? It would boost both of your popularity. No, it would not. It would not. What would happen is, my trolls and Wings trolls would fuse together in a disgusting fusion of hatred, vitriol, and toxicity, and become a poison cloud of nasty. The biggest, most stinky turd on the internet. I already have enough fucking people harassing me. I don't need a whole new group. Alright? And I've already talked about this, and I said, sadly, you know, the way that Wings kind of has lied about things that I've said and done over the years, I don't want to have a part to do with a guy like that. You know, I'm sorry, but when he says that, oh, I emailed Phil to be on my show, and he says he's dissing us or ditching us or avoiding it. Never happened. He never emailed me. The one time many years ago, he wanted me to be on Painkiller Already. I told him I was sick. I couldn't do it at that point, but I would consider doing it again. Let me know. He never contacted me again, then proceeded to trash me on the show. Then, years later, tells me that he wants to do co-op gameplay with me, and I said, all right, water under the bridge, send me an email. Never emails me, tells his viewers that he did. Then publicly admits later he never did. So, fool me once, shame on you. All right? Fool me twice, shame on me. Why would I fall for this shit again? Seriously. The guy apparently has this kind of behavior. I don't know why. Twice he lied about me. Twice. Not once, but twice. So why would I put myself into a position to have that kind of shit happen again? I'd be a fool, right? I might as well put on my red clown nose, paint my face white, put on these big floppy shoes, and put a water squirting flower on my chest. Because that's how I would be if I tried to put myself in a position with that kind of guy again. Alright? Now, by the way, I'm not hating on Wings, and I'm not saying, I wish the guy the best. I hope that things work out for him, especially with him losing his Twitch partnership, just like I did a couple months ago. I know things are going to be rough. Okay? Fair enough? So I want him to succeed. I want him to do the best thing for himself and to be happy in life. But that doesn't mean that I then have to get into a position where I set myself up for some kind of fail. And I'm not going to do that. So no, I don't want to do any gameplay or co-op shows with him. He can do whatever he wants out by himself. Alright? And I'll do my shit. I'm successful enough with my own shit. I don't need a crossover with that guy. Jay Fu tipped me $5. Says, are you going to play Orcs Must Die 3? You haven't been playing any new releases. Things are getting old. I don't even know what that is. I didn't even see it on a release schedule. You guys already know I'm going to be playing a lot of new games shortly. Today I'm playing Microsoft Flight Simulator. For the next few weeks I'm going to be playing Hades, 12 Minutes, Kena Bridge of Spirits, the new Ghost of Tsushima expansion. Just off the top of my head, those are some of the ones I'll be playing. I'm not playing Orcs Must Die, no. But thank you for the tip. Rob Matthews tipped me $10. What's up, Rob? He says, I shake my head when I think the same people that call Zelda a kid's game and jeer at you for it keep asking for you to play Fall Guys. Yeah, I don't know. See, the thing is, I personally like Fall Guys. It's a little unfortunate that I don't have time to play it right now because I've got too much going on in insanely lengthy playthroughs. Maybe I will eventually get to it when I have time. I just don't have time for it now. Okay? Rob Matthews tipped me another $4.20. Says, I was rocked this morning. I woke to news of Joey Jordan's passing. My prayers with his family, Corey, and all behind Slipknot. So apparently this is I don't. They keep saying former, so I'm assuming that this guy used to be the head drummer of Slipknot, the band, and I guess I don't know the circumstances of him not being the drummer anymore. I don't know if they got into an argument. I don't know if he got sick. I don't know what it is, but apparently he passed away unexpectedly. He was young, right? He was only in his 30s, I think. No, actually early 40s, right? Was he in his early 40s? And people were like, "Damn!" Like no one thought that that would happen. That's terrible because he actually was a well-respected and renowned drummer, and that is very, very unfortunate. And I'm so, rest in peace to Joey Jordanson. That sucks. King Philium IV tipped me $1.30. Says, a heads up, it's been proving King Vanity is an alternate account of Only Iced Coffee using that IP address. Wrong. And in fact, because you're an idiot, I'm going to ban you right now so I don't have to hear your fucking nonsense conspiracy shit anymore. You're a fucking idiot. You are a complete fucking nutjob conspiracy theorist idiot. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You are totally stupid. And I mean that. I hope you understand it. You are dumb. If you believe stupid shit like that, you are one of the dumbest people on earth. And you really should just stay off the internet. If you believe everything that you're told, you should stay the fuck off the internet. You're a moron. Good Lord. You're dumb. Okay. Well, that was an easy one. Anyway. Alright, I appear to have gotten through all the shout-outs. So, ladies and gentlemen, unless anyone else has anything final they'd like to say or anything else to cover, that's going to be it for pre-stream. We'll take a brief break here for me to use the restroom. I recommend you guys grab a drink or a snack or use the restroom yourselves. And when we come back, it's the continuation of Skyward Sword HD. We're about to head into major story development and head into the second half of the game. We're about 16 hours in right now, and the game roughly is around 30 to 35 hours, so we are right at that halfway precipice point. So, hello, DSPGaming. How you doing, man? Okay, are we ready? Alright, so let's do it, guys. Let's take a break. I'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you for being patient. Thanks for your support so far. When we come back, we'll get everything up and running here with Skyward Sword HD. Sound good? Alright, guys. See you in a few. Thank you.